Let's learn how to crochet the thermal stitch. Grab a crochet hook and some yarn and let's begin. First we want to start with a slip knot. So go ahead, grab your crochet hook and however you like to do your slip knot. For me, I'm going to do my slip knot this way. So I'm going to have my tail of the yarn a little long, so it's like this. And then I just have my thumb here and my fingers here are pinching the yarn. I have my crochet hook here and I'm pushing my crochet hook towards the foreground there, and I'm bringing up my tail, wrapping it around my crochet hook, and as I do that I'm just kind of grabbing with my finger over here that's holding the hook and grabbing that yarn and pulling it through, and then I'm bringing up that hook and I'm pulling down with that thumb that was holding it and pinching it and pulling it down, and that creates that slip knot. So that's in slow motion. I can even go slower if you guys want me to, but just let me know and I'll do a whole separate video on that. So that's my slip knot. So we just want to begin with a slip knot. So however you guys prefer to do your slip knot, go ahead and begin with a slip knot. So now for the thermal stitch, we're just going to go ahead and chain a multiple of whatever you want. Any multiple is fine. I'm going to just chain a multiple of 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now what we want to do for this first row is we're going to work a single crochet into each of those chains. So we're going to work a single crochet into that second chain from hook. So the loop on your hook doesn't count as a chain, and this is your first chain, this is your second chain. So we're going to insert our hook into that second chain, yarn over, bring that yarn through that chain and up. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, bring that yarn through both of those loops, and you just created your first single crochet. And now you're going to insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, bring that through that chain and up. You have 2 loops, yarn over, and go through both of those loops. And you're going to continue to do that all the way to the end. So we're working a single crochet into each of those chains. And by the time you get to the end, you should have 8 single crochets. And of course, this is just for demonstration purposes. You can chain as many as you want. The thermal stitch is great for pot holders, for any type of thick fabric that you want to use. I love to do it for coasters and pot holders and scrubbies. So I have 1 more left. After you have your 8, or however many you did, or if you're just watching, after we have our first row of single crochets, we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 1. That chain 1 is our turning chain, and now we're going to turn our work. And now this row, normally when you work into your next row, you're working underneath both loops of the stitch. You have your front, when you're looking at it, you have your front loop here and your back loop. So you'll see each of those stitches have a front and a back loop. When you're looking at it, this is the front loop, and right here is the back loop. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be inserting our crochet hook underneath that back loop only, and then we're going to be inserting our hook into that foundation chain right below where we made our single crochet into. So just right underneath that back loop. So you can see where I inserted it, and it's only a little tricky this first time because we're working into that foundation chain. So we're just going to yarn over, bring that yarn through both of those and up, and now you have your 2 loops. You're going to yarn over and complete that single crochet. and again. So now we're going to go to our next stitch, and we want to do the same thing. So there's that front loop. If we're looking at it, there's that front loop, there's that back loop. We want to insert our hook underneath that back loop only, and then again at the base of that foundation chain. So right straight beneath, underneath, you're just inserting your hook in there, yarning over, bringing that yarn through both of those loops that we just inserted our hook underneath, and bringing it up. You have the 2 loops, yarn over and bring it through both of those loops. And again, there's our next stitch. There's both of those loops. If you're not sure, you can just turn it up so you can see both of them. You want to make sure you insert your hook into that back loop, and then straight down underneath, you want to make sure you get that foundation chain loop, yarn over, bring that yarn through both of those loops and up. Just like that, you have your 2 loops, yarn over, and go through both of those loops, completing that single crochet. So you're doing that all the way to the end. So again, insert your hook into that back loop only, and then straight down to the foundation chain, yarn over, bring it through both of those loops and up, yarn over, complete that single crochet. And this looks funny, but it's going to be fine. You'll see on the next round, or the next row. Again, insert your hook into that back loop, go straight down, getting that foundation row. There we go. We're completing that single crochet. There we go. There's our next one. Back loop only, and we're going straight down. There's our next one. And we're going straight down. Remember to grab that foundation. Remember, we're just working in that back loop only, and we have 1 left here. And we want to make sure we get that bottom one there too. So there we go. So we just completed that, and you see we worked in the back loop only, which left all of those front loops available. See, all of these little front loops are unworked. Those are the loops that we're going to be working into. How we worked into the foundation row loops, these are going to be the ones that we're going to be working into. These are going to be our new foundation row loops. So now we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work, and now this is our new row. And again, just like we did, we're going to work in the back loop only, and then just as we did before, we're going to insert our crochet hook into that loop that we didn't work into from before. So see all of those unworked loops that we didn't insert our hook into? Those are the loops that we're going to be working into. So here we're just going to insert our hook into this unworked loop, yarn over, bring it through and up, yarn over, and go through both loops. And that's what makes it so thick, is because you're combining those 2 rows and pinching them together. So it's like you're kind of creating like a circular tube kind of. So again, insert your hook into the back loop of the next stitch, and again that skip loop from the previous row, yarn over, bring them through and up, and again the back loop, and then the loop from the previous row that was unworked, and work your single crochet. So you're basically just working a single crochet. It's just you're inserting your crochet hook in different loops. It's just a little awkward at first, but once you get working it, it's super easy and cool, and you're gonna love it. Once you get it down pat, it's gonna be your favorite stitch. It's a little tricky maybe at first for some, but trust me, once you try it, you're gonna love it for pot holders and coasters. It's so nice and thick, especially for scrubbies too. especially if you have a thinner type of yarn. But see how nice and thick that is. And this is even thick yarn to begin with. It's a nice bulky yarn, the Scrubology Scrub It yarn. I'll show you guys what it is because everybody always asks about it. So this is the Scrubology Scrub It yarn. Is 100% nylon. It's awesome yarn, available at Hobby Lobby or in my Etsy shop, which the link is in my bio here on TikTok, so you guys could always check it out there too. And again, let's go. And I'm at the end here, so we're going to chain, whoops, 1. And again, we're going to insert our hook into that back loop, the previous loop that was on worked from the previous row, and work our single crochet. And again, back loop in that skipped loop or unworked loop that we didn't work into from the previous row. And again, and this would be like an awesome super thick blanket, especially for those that don't like holey blankets. Like my husband doesn't really like blankets that have holes in them where your toes can stick out. So he would love a blanket in this, but it would be a yarn eater for sure. But it would be super warm. But anyways, I hope this helps. Let me know if it helps, or if you need any more detail, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.